if you have a tiara, you should plan to put it on right this very instant and just walk around all day with it on. Speaking of tiaras and princesses, by the way, 4 o'clock foreplay happens every single weekday at 4 in a row. Same artist, same band, same theme. Suggestions, KCRR.com is a good place to go. Not a princess, a prince, a king, the king of information, the one, the only, Kit Larson. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. That's my best, Cory Ford.
And I know he noticed that my voice changes once the microphone's in front of my face. It's a reaction I can't get rid of. I've tried so hard, and I just can't do it.
Dude, I totally get it. I'm just not as cool as you, though.
Oh, that's crap.
Right. That's why I had to dress up in a suit.
You did dress up in a suit today. I was pretty impressed with you. You must have had to report. I don't know what that means. It is Lyme Disease Awareness and Prevention Month, correct?
Correct. Sure.
You particularly suffer from Lyme disease.
Yeah, I saw it from my 2 daughters.
Yes, and it is a bacterium from bites from a tick, a mosquito, deer ticks in particular, as they always point those out. But any kind of animal, bug, or whatever that suffers from Lyme disease, they pass it on to you.
That's right. They found it in all basically biting insects in North America. So one of the biggest fallacies is deer tick.
Right.
You know. So and the studies have found it just in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is getting it identified.
Yes, and this is something we have to talk about because the symptoms for Lyme disease range from anything from a toenail breaking off all the way to having some serious neurological problems.
Absolutely crazy. It sure can. A lot of people get misdiagnosed with things like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, MS. A friend of mine in Des Moines was given MS, then found out he had Lyme, got better, took him off the antibiotics, now they say he has ALS.
So it's not only is it difficult to identify personally, like I have these symptoms, I have this going on, I have this going on, but it's also extremely difficult for anybody in the medical field to identify it as well because of the symptoms that can mimic other diseases.
Absolutely, just about everything you can. It's called the great imitator, and it's extremely evasive when it comes to a bacteria. It has actually 3 different life forms to evade your immune system and any antibiotics you may be taking.
And isn't, from what I don't know if you know this or not, but I just read yesterday, there's a new type of it?
There's so many different strains of it. There's over 100 different types of Borrelia in North America alone.
And that's the bacterium.
Spirochete, like a screw.
Yep.
Moves really slow.
Mm-hmm.
You may only have symptoms show up about every 3 weeks for a week at a time because it has a 3-week dormancy, and then it's moving around for a week. You know, by the way, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to give medical advice. I'm just someone who's giving you my life history.
There we go, right there. We want to make sure of that. Okay, so let's talk about your symptoms and how you were able to identify that you have Lyme disease.
Mine were, through a course of years, we figure I probably had it since either my pre-teens or sometime around there, but we do know I was probably infected no less than 4 different times from 4 different vectors. Lived all over the world, was in the infantry, etc. And my symptoms were, I'd have buzzing of the hands, I was forgetting things. Literally, I was walking into door jams. I went to Walmart one time, had no idea where I was at. I had to call my wife in the middle of Walmart.
Wow.
You might go out, you can't find, I also was misdiagnosed with fibromyalgia. Now I want you to understand, all of this stuff went away, proper treatment from a physician who is based with the International Lyme and Associated Diseases Society, otherwise known as ILADS. Our website is www.ilads.org.
ilads.org. You got to check it out. So you didn't know what the heck you had. You and I have talked really extensively on this subject outside of the radio station and just sitting in my office because we have been discussing how to get you here to discuss this. I grew up in northern Wisconsin. I have been bit by a deer tick. That was 25, 35 years ago.
Sure.
Currently going through symptoms of Lyme disease.
And that's the way, I was very athletic, and I also have a very high pain tolerance. So, that's what happens. And the other thing, too, is what a lot of people don't realize is they're kind of making some of these symptoms background noise. Or they'll say, you're just getting older. You know what? No. Pay attention to your body. Pay attention to what's not working right, and you know it. Could be a psychological issue. You could have food allergies coming on that's actually caused by bacterial infection in your intestines. There's so many things.
Yes.
Plus, there's co-infections like Bartonella, Babesia, Ehrlichiosis, Anaplasma, all kinds of them.
Oh man, it's mind-boggling to think about. Oh man, because I have hands buzzing, I have arms buzzing. I've been dealing with this for approximately 2 months or so.
Right.
You and my father both brought up Lyme disease. My dad heard a program on TV with one of the big, huge clothes designer's daughter who has Lyme disease. She was misdiagnosed for years and years and years and years and years and years and years.
Tommy Hilfiger's daughter.
Yep. Finally was able to get the proper treatment. She's fine. She wrote a book about it.
Correct. And Yolanda Foster, Avril Lavigne, Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
That actually broke them up because the symptoms were so bad for them.
Really?
And the problem is identifying it, catching it early enough before it gets into a chronic or late stage where it's disseminated throughout your body.
Right, exactly. So, and it can lay dormant for years before it really hits you. So be aware of that as well. So you're going to, by the sounds of it, you're going to face Lyme disease in your life at some point or another, whether it's you or somebody with you. You're going to get bit by a mosquito. You can't get away from this stuff. And you cannot stop living your life just because there's bugs outside that may have a disease in them.
Absolutely correct. I don't tell anybody to stop living their life. You know,
yeah.
I'm pretty active.
Yes, you are. You're everywhere all the time.
I don't let it slow me down.
Right on.
One of the things too is people don't think tests. Tests are very inaccurate. Highly inaccurate. It is a symptom-based diagnosis. That's why it's very important to get to someone that deals with it on a weekly or daily basis.
Right, and the best part is if you just go to the ALDF.
No, ILAD.
ILADS.org. Go there, find out more, you can see everything. They'll tell you it's the truth. It is what it is. So it's Lyme Disease Awareness Month and Prevention and Awareness Month. Let's get back to Kent here in just a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about how many people have it, how can we get rid of it, and what do we need to do. We'll talk about that shortly. First up, forecast on the way next, then Pink Floyd on KCRR.
We're still alive. How many songs we got?
2. We got 2. Got 2.
Well, I hope you all are seeing this. We're going to be right back after 2 songs.